What is up guys, it's your boy Void here, and in today's video, I'm going to be dropping the very first episode for my new Ark Survival Evolved Scorched Earth series. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get down to it.
This desert wasteland was a turning point for Helena and her allies. It was here that her fellow explorer Rockwell began his spiral into darkness. If only Helena could have seen the threat that was so close to her, where Rockwell's experiments would lead. There's danger lurking beneath these sands, survivor. Seek out this Ark's guardian and find your way to where I'm waiting for you.
We begin our journey on a blistering hot day in the desert wasteland. I headed over to a nearby cactus as it contains cactus sap, which can be used for both my hunger bar and to keep me hydrated until I can find a reliable water source. Next, I headed into the direction of where I thought there could be a reliable water source. After a replenishing drink of fresh water, I had everything I needed to craft the basic primitive tools that I would need to help me to survive until I find a suitable base location. I soon after headed in the direction of Greenock to find a place where I could build my very own starter base. Little did I know that it was going to be a very, very good decision, as it would possess every single trait I would need to properly begin my journey. I had to get there ASAP, as the blistering hot sun was slowly ticking away at my health. Along the way, I found a poor little defenseless Lystro. I guess you know what comes next. Upon arrival at my new base location, I knew immediately that this was a great choice, as it housed both flat surfaces to build on, a river for me to stay hydrated, and Greenock was right next to me, which would make life a lot easier when transporting my dinos to the boss arena. I soon after found a Lyromantria, so I quickly bowled and killed it for its silk and chitin. Silk is needed for crafting a tent to help me stay safe through dust storms. This was where I was going to begin building my new base. I'd already crafted and placed a tent and a few platforms. It wouldn't be much to look at in the beginning, but I had some big plans to come in the future episodes. I tried my luck to tame this low-level Morellatops, which would soon be proven as a terrible idea, as when they're alone, they run away. However, the second their homies pull up, they choose violence, so I ran away for dear life. Talk about happy accidents. I soon after ran into this jerboa, which I quickly knocked out and made mine. Please leave a name suggestion for this little rat in the comments down below. It's time to cue the building montage. Now, a moment of silence. Let's get back to the montage, shall we? Next, I was on the lookout for metal ore. However, this would be rather difficult, considering I couldn't venture too far away from my base due to hydration restrictions. Placed down a mortar and pestle, as well as learned the engrams for a forge. placed down my forge so that once I had obtained metal, I could begin my metal production for items such as a crossbow or metal tools. I rushed into my tent as my Jerboa signaled a sandstorm coming up ahead, so I waited and waited and waited and waited. When the coast was clear, I came out. I soon after gathered the resources to build an irrigation system. After I had built the irrigation system, I had then after decided to gather the necessary materials to craft a smithy. However, while searching for metal in the dark, I had gotten jumped by a direwolf, sending me straight out of my chair. Let's roll the clip!
No, no, no,
And if that first encounter wasn't enough, I had almost gotten jumped a second time by a stupid freaking cat bro. Just barely escaping with my life, I had decided to head back to the safety of my base where I would wait until the morning to continue to search for metal. When the morning came, I began searching for Dinosaur and metal. I ended up finding a Procoptodon. Now hear me out. I did not know at the time that bolas were ineffective on these things, so I had to chase it all the way down the cliff, and on top of it, I never had any signs to trap this thing, so I had to try and attempt to do it the old-fashioned way, with a boomerang. Whilst proceeding to tame this Procoptodon, this stupid Pegomastix wouldn't leave me the hell alone. So I decided, enough is enough, let's put it out of its misery. However, sadly, after that, the oversized kangaroo was nowhere to be found. So I decided to cut my losses and to continue the search for metal. However, when I found metal, another pack of direwolves attacked me. I mean, I'm fairly certain at this point, this game hates my guts. So I proceeded to lure the pack away, and when I returned, I continued to mine some much deserved metal, and I got a chunky amount of it. Once I returned home, I placed the metal in the forge and began smelting it. I used the metal to craft a smithy and narcotics, which is used to make trank arrows. Next, I crafted a crossbow. And so, I set out to find my first tame. I came across this low-level raptor and decided it would be mine. So I bowled it and knocked it up. Once the raptor was asleep, I took some meat and shoved it into its inventory. I then waited until it was awake. Once the raptor was awake, I led it back to my base and gathered the basic materials that I'd need to craft a saddle. So I crafted a raptor saddle and took her out for a spin, and boy oh boy is she powerful. So after bullying some of the smaller dinosaurs, I proceeded to find a berry gatherer. So whilst exploring, I found this low-level parasaur and proceeded to bowler and knock it out. Once the parasaur was asleep, I shoved some berries into its inventory and it was mine. Once the parasaur tamed, I began leading it back to my base. The journey was both long and treacherous. However, I was determined to get us there in one piece. I was mere meters away from my base when I'd realized that my parasaur wasn't following me anymore. It had aggroed onto a stupid direwolf. I swear, these direwolves are cursed. So I sprung into action to save the parasaur. After me and my parasaur had survived that encounter, we headed back to my base, where I soon after decided to build up some walls for fortification purposes, which would serve very useful in the upcoming days of this series. Let us begin with another building montage. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below for the dinosaurs' names. I do post weekly, so I'll catch you guys on episode 2. Bye guys!